campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things.
5 on a Friday, and boy, it felt like a lifetime to get here, but we have. It is approaching quickly, that 5 o'clock punch out, the end of a work week upon us, and you know what? We're going to do it in style. On Afternoons Live, I'm Tyler Axis, your host, Eric Johnson, our producer, with you to that 5 o'clock punch out, and you know the rules. You send them in, we play them. Let's try to stick with the theme today. Send in your power ballads, your rock power ballads, to 35270. That's the iConsultants of North Dakota. We'll play those. We don't know what kind of mood that'll elicit, but we're going to do it together right here. You can bet your bottom dollar to be a number of songs from Meatloaf Play It. Obviously, by this point, you have heard that Marvin Lee Aday, or better known as Meatloaf, 74 years old, passed away this morning. We'll talk about that a little bit. Also, Louis Anderson passing away earlier. So we got those two items, but we got so much more. We got Kyle Agri. Gone Outdoors is tomorrow. You can catch that here every Saturday. We'll get a preview of that. Speaking of outdoors, the Outlet Recreation Rummage sale going on throughout the weekend. Mike Larson's going to join us. I want to thank them for sponsoring the studio this entire week as well. And Eric Rapp, FargoUnderground.com, going to be joining us in studio. $25 and a gift card to the Boiler Room for sponsoring that segment on the line. That and so much more coming up right after this KFGO News.
KFGO News, cloudy now, Fargo-Moorhead, 18 degrees. I'm Paul Jurgens. The University of North Dakota plans to end its work on a policy for gender inclusion. The policy would have required use of a transgender person's preferred pronouns and the use of locker rooms, bathrooms, and living arrangements that align with a person's gender identity. The policy was recently criticized by the North Dakota Catholic Conference. UND President Andy Armacost decided to stop work on the policy, saying existing state and federal policies should be enough. COVID-19 complications are now blamed for the deaths of 12 school workers in Minnesota, bringing the total to 20 since August 2020. Education Minnesota President Denise Speck says she understands the value of private health information, but
it would be wonderful if the Department of Health could release some information that would help us get a better sense of what's going wrong. How can we do this better?
3 Minnesota students have also died from the virus. More than 500 students and staff have been hospitalized with COVID. A statue of President Theodore Roosevelt that has long been criticized by civil rights activists has been removed from New York's American Museum of Natural History. The statue will be moved to the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in Medora. The statue, unveiled in 1940, depicts Roosevelt on horseback with a Native American man on one side and a black man on the other. In June 2020, the museum requested that the statue be removed. The New York City Public Design Commission voted last June to remove the statue. The library is scheduled to open in 2026, the 250th anniversary of the country. A North Dakota Powerball player has claimed a $150,000 Powerball prize from Wednesday's drawing. The winner from Bismarck chose to remain anonymous. They hit it big with a quick pick ticket. The winner did not think that she'd won much at first. She told the state lottery office that after a funny feeling, she checked the numbers again and realized she had won. The woman says she plans to use some of the money to pay bills. Fargo-Moorhead, mostly cloudy, still windy at this afternoon. Areas of blowing snow, and about 23. The snow has moved through the FM area for the moment. Again, near 23, 6 below overnight, still somewhat breezy, scattered snow showers this evening, decreasing clouds and decreasing wind. Some blowing snow yet, and again, 6 below. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a chance of light snow in the afternoon, near 6 degrees. Tomorrow night, 15 below, a clearing sky. Fargo-Moorhead, it is mostly cloudy, and now 19. Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
Well, wouldn't you know that it's 2:10 on an afternoon weekday. road conditions, they're okay. They're better than what they were, say, I don't know, Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever day it was. That is unlike anything we had seen in this area in quite some time, every single direction. But I do know that there are some spots in the KFGO listening area that might look a little sketchy out there. So if you can do so safely, or the eyes out there, remember, if you do so safely, if you're the passenger in particular, you can text into the Eye Consultants of North Dakota text club 35270. The Laney studio line, of course, open to you all day as well at 237-5948. I know this one came in, and I apologize to JJ if he got it out there and I just didn't hear it, but somebody did say there was a pretty bad rollover underneath the 32nd Avenue South bridge heading northbound, so you should expect delays. Now, that came in about 15 minutes ago, so I don't know if anything's changed, but that's what's letting me springboard into the deep end, just with the suspicion that there's probably some other slick spots out there and visibility with the wind, snow, all the above. You know it. You're living it. You're out there right now, but you can help us out and your fellow commuters together. It is Rock Request Friday. You can send in what you want here, 35270. In fact, here's one, and I walked into it. Well, let's see how many of these fall into the power ballad section. For example, could you please play Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor? Sure. I suppose that does. It's a ballad. Is it a power ballad? What's the difference between a ballad and a power ballad?
The bridge, maybe?
The bridge, that's what, okay.
A great song, I believe, written by Prince.
I think you're right. I do believe you are correct, sir.
Chris Cornell has a version of it that may be superior to any other version.
Yeah. I was visiting with one of our sales guys earlier today about, you've got these music festivals, right? And especially in the rock ones, you've got a lot of these 80s, lead singers, or you have the band, but now it's a different lead singer, but it's a lead singer on a different stage, and they're playing the same songs as what band they're a part of. So that's an 80s thing. And you might see a little bit of the 70s, but when are you going to start getting the 90s rockers out there to some of these festivals? And the question is, unfortunately, just not a lot of them around. I mean, Kurt Cobain, you think about, you just brought up Chris Cornell. And then I thought about Billy, Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, Billy Corgan.
Why do I say Carrington? Billy Carrington. Is he's a guy?
Billy Currington is a country artist.
Well, close enough.
But yeah, Billy Corgan.
Yeah. Who else would you even put on there? I mean, you got Weezer, I suppose, which they're just singing karaoke songs these days.
Live. The band Live. Bush.
Oh, Bush was at the Red River Valley Fair a couple of years ago, but it was like a sweltering 110 degrees and 98% humidity, because I remember I was broadcasting in our nice, cool, air-conditioned studio right next to the grandstands, and I'm like, I'll come back. So I really wanted to see it, and I didn't, and I regret it.
You got to throw Three Doors Down and...
I've seen them.
Yeah, Three Doors Down for sure. Matchbox 20.
They might be getting to that point. I threw out Third Eye Blind as well. I can make that.
Matchbox 20. Yeah. I think you could put together a pretty solid lineup of those 90s radio rock type bands.
I would totally buy a ticket to that as well. Tyler, can you ask how interstate is between Fargo and Grand Forks? I can, and I just did because you asked. So if anyone's out there on I-29 between Fargo, Grand Forks, either way, I mean, north, southbound, whichever, let us know. Help a fellow listener out, and we'll let them know whether it's visibility issues, ice conditions that are spotty. I know at least from here, it's just a little bit, about 20 miles north. Spotty, nothing like what it was. I know the crews have been out doing as best they can of a job to try to clear those roads. It has not been ideal conditions to do that, however. It's been stunningly cold, but also this dang wind. I mean, I know the upper Midwest, we have wind what feels like all the time, but over this last week feels like it has been nonstop, and I think it's the reason I've been noticing it more isn't because it's nipping at your nose, it's because of just the visibility issues that we've had over the last few days. All right, so ballad songs coming. Some Motley Crue, yeah, we'll play some of that as well. The whole Meatloaf situation. Now, there is, if you're a regular in-depth listener of Afternoons Live, there's a story of which I tell sometimes, because there was an era of our life in which, this is before marriage, before kids, in which the guys would get together and we would go on a road trip, and we had rules. Rules which I'm not going to share with you because I don't want to incriminate any of them, nor myself. But one thing that was an unwritten rule for one of the guys whenever we got in that vehicle was that he had to listen to Meatloaf. He had to. It was his thing. So today...
Was he somebody's older brother that was tagging along with you guys?
No, he is maybe a couple years old. He's probably your age.
Sure, okay.
You know said Fred. You've met him before. Justin's his name. He's a real Justin.
All right, the pieces are all coming together.
But so we had, I got to the point where I can't do, by the dashboard light, I can't do it anymore. Because it's 10 minutes and I've got to listen to this thing like 4 times between here and Ashley, North Dakota. Now today we got to play it in honor of Justin, of course, in honor of Meatloaf because of all the griping and all the concern that we had for his infatuation with Meatloaf and this dashboard song that was really just 4 songs crushed and smashed into one. Now I kind of have a yearning to hear it. So we'll play that today as well. Your songs coming in. And, of course, whatever you want to talk about this whole hour, you, me, this microphone, your cell phone. Another unwritten rule, not on the road trip. We try to avoid politics on a Friday afternoon, just get you to that 5 o'clock punch out. But if something comes up, we'll talk about it. If there's something you want to talk about, you know how to get a hold of me on the Consultants of North Dakota text club, which is 35270. And, of course, the Laney studio line. I'll even give you the toll-free number, 1-800-880-5346. It is Friday afternoon. This is Afternoons Live, and we are just getting started right here on KFGO.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate, but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night, the hospital last night.
Now imagine it's 4 dudes in their mid to late 20s.
Did Justin sing along to this with the passion of Meatloaf Live?
Nobody could meet the passion. And it depends on what part of this 4-part song we're discussing.
Yeah, do you like the rockabilly part? Do you like the ballad part?
Oh, no. I'm the rockabilly for sure. Like this.
You get like this.
This is where he kicks in for sure.
You get the You get like soda pop music coming up.
Yeah. Soda pop music.
Little doo-woppy.
I mean, it holds up.
Yeah, would you call this doo-woppy? Like soda jerk pop?
No, you use that term now 3 times. I have no idea what that means.
50s era.
They called that soda pop.
I think maybe I might have just made it up in my head
right now, and I don't think it's going to stick. You keep trying to make it stick, it ain't going to stick. It's not going to happen. 2-3. Oh, you know what? You ask, you shall receive. 237-594. That's Laney's studio line, and somebody called in a road warrior because this question came into the text club. Can you ask how interstate is between Fargo and Grand Forks? And one of our listeners, which I do appreciate them calling in, responding to the request, saying, "Look, I'm heading north on I-29. Roads have been good. Visibility's not bad. So you're smooth sailing, hopefully, up at this point." Now, granted, North Dakota weather, just like with the other day, feels like things can switch on a dime. But as of now, if you are getting on the road, it sounds like you're going to have an all right trip up to Grand Forks, or vice versa, whichever way you're going. I assume because you said between Fargo and Grand Forks, that means you are leaving Fargo to go north to Grand Forks and beyond. But it sounds like you're going to be just fine there. More rock requests coming in. Not all of them power ballads. That's fine. You send in whatever you want to hear, like we do every Friday. We'll play them. One thing, and I want to, and I've just scratched the surface on this a couple of times before. And I use the example that I've got a friend. It sounds like I've got a lot more friends than I do today in this first 20 minutes, but I assure you they're real people. That is very much involved when it comes to data, when it comes to specific fields of which we are, pretty much advancing into, I think, how we're going to live day to day. And one of those advancements comes to blockchain, cryptocurrency, and that. But there is something that caught my attention. We are going to do our homework on this, I assure you, because I need somebody to explain it to me like I'm 5. And I don't think I'm alone in this. In fact, when I have people that are involved in the industry try to explain, hey, yeah, this is a Bitcoin, this does that. Oh, here's that Dogecoin. That the intricacy of which they try to piece it together, but the confusion that they even seem to find themselves wrapped in, it says a lot. And I think when you are trying to unpack what that means for people going forward, I mean, there are head coaches. There are people in office and parts of this world that are foregoing, just that regular paycheck in which it's an automatic deposit in good old US of A dollars. They want to get paid through Bitcoins. So, I mean, there are people out there utilizing this as a means of income right now. That's something that we got to pay attention to. I'll get back to this, but I think we have a Road Warrior report coming in here.
We do, and this one's going to be pretty relevant to our listening audience because right at the tri-level, eastbound on 94, there's a multi-car incident that is tying up lanes. It sounds like it's on the eastbound 94. It's on some of the interchange between 94 and 29, and several cars involved, so it's going to be tying things up. Sounds like it's very slick right there.
Okay. That tri-level, you have that spot on the interstate, and then you've got the bridge going into Moorhead on 94. That seem to be usually the two biggest trouble spots. But if you are on the interstate anywhere near the tri-level, expect delays. In fact, probably consider an alternate route. And I do anticipate I hope I'm wrong. This is where not often I like to say that, well, prove me wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But this one I do. I suspect we're probably going to get a few more of those, so drive with care. And again, this is another one of those days when you have that wind blowing as it has. There were some flurries earlier. I have no idea if we are right now. But the wind was strong enough in which you're still getting some of that snow fog. Turn your headlights on. I saw too many people out in these open areas a couple of times today that did not have their headlights on. So give yourself space, slow down. And in particular, the slow down aspect, because coming back into town today, there was a plow out there. The men and women are out there trying to keep these roads clear. I think some people all of a sudden want to slam on the brakes when they see something, and that can cause issues as well. So slow down, give yourself space. The usual yada, 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 but we have to remind ourselves it feels like every time that there's a little bit of dust up out there. So the tri-level, be careful, go around, find an alternate route to get where you're going. Tyler, you think Bitcoin is crazy? Check into the metaverse. That's that whole Mark Zuckerberg thing, right? Which I do want to check it. We are heading in a direction, and I don't know if it's a direction that we should be optimistic for, one that we should be concerned about, because I've heard people on both sides of this just try to say, well, here's why I'm worried about this. Or other people saying, just think of the possibilities and what you can do with this advancement, which is not very far off. Whether that's, and there's so many variables here. You're talking about the metaverse. We got cryptocurrency. You've got blockchain. You got all these other avenues in which people are going to be doing kind of day-to-day things in a vastly different way of which we're doing it right now. And it is puzzling to try to piece it together in my mind. So to help, because I know there's a group out there listening right now that is eager for this. They have been following the Reddit threads of any type of crypto, not just Bitcoin, but there's thousands of them. And to try to figure out what that means for somebody involved, what that means for those that might be, picking up the tab, because this doesn't just happen magically. It costs money to allow for these things to have the space that they need and the energy they need to do what they do. And if it's not necessarily all rosy on the end of this equation, and we're putting money in, I think that's why we need to do ourselves some homework to try to figure out exactly who benefits. Is this something that...
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things.
Still got Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf playing in the background. More Afternoons Live right after this.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. Right. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. You know, and all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night, the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think
News and weather this hour brought to you by Outlet Recreation. Outlet Recreation's annual Recreation Rummage sale is going on now through Sunday in Detroit Lakes.
Fargo-Moorhead, a cloudy sky, 19 degrees at 2:30. I'm Paul Juergens. A traffic collision on I-94, the tri-level in Fargo that is backing things up, according to some KFGO Road Warrior callers. First responders en route are on the scene there. That is, again, on the tri-level. Reports of a collision of some sort there, at least some sort of traffic incident. And there may be some vehicles that left the road there. Use caution if you are approaching the tri-level on I-29 southbound there. 12 Minnesota school employees have now died from COVID-related health problems, bringing the total to 20 since 2020. Education Minnesota Union President Denise Beck.
We're going to continue to remember them and remind everyone that there are still fatalities going on, and we can do this better.
Speck says since the pandemic began, more than 500 students and staff have been hospitalized with COVID in Minnesota. She's continuing to urge students and staff to get the vaccine and wear masks. 19. This is KFGO News. This is KFGO News. UND President Andy Armacost says the university will stop work on its draft policy on gender inclusion and will not put it in place. The policy was recently criticized by the North Dakota Catholic Conference in a letter to parents of students in Catholic high schools. A UND spokesman says Armacost discussed the issue with UND student leaders and the Student Senate this week before deciding to stop work on the policy. At the same meeting, the Student Senate passed a resolution supporting continued development of the draft policy. Enbridge Energy has stopped the flow of spilled artesian groundwater that began a year ago when workers installing the Line 3 oil pipeline in northwestern Minnesota punctured an aquifer. The spill near Enbridge's terminal in Clearbrook was one of the worst environmental incidents during construction of the 340-mile pipeline. Workers dug too deeply into the ground, and the rupture resulted in a 24-million-gallon groundwater leak. Richland County Deputy Sheriff Jason Weber is looking to be the next sheriff. Weber has announced that he will run for sheriff in the November election. He's been with the Sheriff's Department 24 years. Sheriff Larry Leszewski now holds that job. Bismarck area Republicans have named a new lawmaker to fill out the term of Representative George Kaiser, who died last month. District 47 Vice Chairman Rob Eckert will serve the remaining 10 months of Kaiser's term. He will not run for re-election or for election this year. Kaiser died at age 75 after battling Lou Gehrig's disease. Kaiser was first elected to the State House in 1992. A Republican-dominated South Dakota House Committee has rejected Governor Noem's proposal to require public schools to have a moment of silence to start the day. The governor first billed the proposal at a conservative Christian conference last year as putting prayer back in schools, but a House committee rejected the idea after education groups argued that voluntary prayer is already allowed in schools, and the proposed law would have saddled teachers with an unclear mandate. St. Paul-born comedian and actor Louis Anderson has died in Las Vegas at the age of 68 following a battle with blood cancer. Several years ago, Anderson said if he could put a dome over it, He'd moved back to Minnesota.
You know, the older I get, the more I want to live in Minnesota with all my family and friends and all my familiar places and the niceness of Minnesota.
Anderson got his start at the brave new Workshop Comedy Theater in uptown Minneapolis. He went on to win several Emmy Awards and appeared in more than a dozen movies. He got his start in television on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in 1984. And again, a traffic incident on the tri-level or near the tri-level, I-29 south in South Fargo. Late word that a couple of vehicles have left the road there. It doesn't appear that there are any injuries, but it is likely tying up traffic. So you may encounter that if you're traveling Interstate 29 coming to the south and approaching the tri-level to go east on I-94. KFGO Weather Center forecast, mostly cloudy, still some wind to contend with this afternoon. Our high near 23. Windy tonight, scattered snow showers this evening, then decreasing clouds and wind tapering off. Still areas of blowing snow, 6 below, 6 above. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a chance of light snow in the afternoon. A clearing sky, 15 below tomorrow night. Sunday near 15 degrees, mostly cloudy with perhaps light snow, blowing snow in the afternoon. Fargo-Moorhead again, it is cloudy and 19. Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
I'll let it get there for you.
Thank you.
We are playing your power ballots. That one requested by Rusty Halverson, whom I'm going to get to in a moment here. But you just heard Paul Juergens in the KFGO News Center talk about the accident that happened at the trial level. And I'm getting more messages about that. That injury accident on trial level I-94 westbound looks like a pickup lost control. There is emergency personnel on scene. So that is down to one lane westbound on the tri-level. Far inside lane is open. So the far inside lane currently open. My advice to you, avoid the tri-level. Get out. I mean, find that alternate route because this one comes in as well. And this is a repeat from a road warrior earlier saying that there's also an accident on northbound 29 just past the 32nd Avenue. Lots of lights flashing. So it sounds like it is getting slick out there, in particular on those interstates. So be mindful. Again, slow down, turn the headlights on, give yourself some space. Let those emergency crews by to get out there, especially if there is an injury related to any of these accidents. So keep them coming in. As I think I made abundantly clear earlier this week, those safety reports or road warrior reports, we get those out as quickly as we can because I know what it means for everyone out there commuting. With that, Rusty Halverson is back in studio. You were commuting across the metro earlier because there was some was it the Bean Growers Association?
Yeah, North Harvest Bean Growers Association. They host an annual Bean Day, Tyler, and it's back in person this year. And it's underway at the Holiday Inn until later on this afternoon. We headed over there earlier today, talked with folks, came back, and yeah, the roads were use caution. Just use caution.
Yep, that's the best way to put it down.
Yep. But we spoke with Eric Samuelson. He's from Crookston, Minnesota, and he's president of the North Harvest Bean Growers Association. And a really common topic at all of these grower meetings so far this year, Tyler, have been input costs, rising input costs, supply chain concerns. Can you get what you want when you want it? So I asked Eric, have you secured your inputs? Yeah, wait until it's in the barn, wait and see approach on that one. And I think a lot of guys are really kind of banking on that, another saying in agriculture. And there are a lot of sayings in agriculture. Audibles. What movie is that from, Tyler?
Hit me with it one more time. That sounds like it's got to be Young Guns.
Charlie, they're going to hang us.
Woo! Tell you, if Young Guns is on TV, usually on AMC, it's on my TV.
Yep, you bet, you bet. And we'll talk more about, there is optimism in the industry, Tyler, looking ahead despite all those concerns about input costs, rising fuel costs and whatnot. And our sponsors, the coverage of Bean Day, thank you to SRS Commodities, Fezzidan Co-op Association, and also the North Harvest Bean Growers. And we'll talk more about it next hour.
Very good. I'll save that seat for you.
All right, thank you.
Spot seat came out speed, but here you are. You'll be
Here
back
I am.
next time.
I'll be back.
Sometimes the English language is difficult for me as a talk show host. We'll get there. More road reports. You send them in as safely as you can, whether it's by calling or texting. We'll share with the audience. People giving me advice about cryptocurrency, I'll share that with you because one caller off air put it as simple as they could. I'll share with you after the CBS National News Update. You are listening to After News Live on KFGO.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate, but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Roberson here with another News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that
from It Takes Two.
Doug here with the morning crew this morning.
News Radio.
Bailey Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Force.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
KFGO time is 2:44 on a Friday, and as we were saying at the top of the hour for the last 45 minutes, it sounds like travel conditions are not ideal, especially on the interstate. And in fact, we got a road warrior calling in, Joel Heitkamp, News and Views. Joel, what are you seeing at that tri level?
Oh, it's like a yard sale, Tyler. It's in the westbound lane, and it starts before you get to I-29 if you're on 94. Get yourself in the left lane because it's down to one lane once you get underneath the tri-level. But the Fargo Fire Department's there. They're doing what they can. Emergency Services is there. The Highway Patrol is there. The tow trucks are there. I think I counted 6 rigs. There's a Chevy pickup with its whole nose gone there. It's a real mess. And so what the heck I was doing there, I have no idea because I heard it on your show. But, I went through so that I could kind of get word to you. But it's everything they're talking about, Tyler. It's a real mess there right now.
Okay, so the situation, that accident's a mess. How are the roads themselves, Joel? Are they getting pretty slick?
Well, I'm going south on 29 right now, and God, I hope they're not as bad as what we're driving. I'm in the 75-mile-an-hour zone, and I'm going about 65. So.
Okay. Manageable. Well, better than the day before or the 2 days ago. But you have any other reports? You see any other incidents on your way back down south? You call back in, all right?
You bet. Take care, John.
Yeah, you drive safe. Joel Heitkamp. So westbound, you have 6 vehicles he counts, emergency personnel on scene. And as he said, but also as people were saying, stay on the inside lane. The far inside lane is the one that is open. Westbound on the tri-level, far inside lane is open. My advice, if you can, find another way. Take an earlier exit. Yeah, sure, you're going to have a couple of stoplights. You're going to have to take some more time, but keep as much space there so these emergency personnel can do what they've got to do. I know we had another caller off air as well, which says
another 94 again, this time over the Red River Bridge from Moorhead into Fargo in that westbound direction was at a standstill. The other side was not much better. It's very, very slippery. So it's going to be a tricky go on 94 between Moorhead and even West Fargo.
So here's what I can recap now over the first 45 minutes of this show. I-29 by 32nd Avenue had an accident there, which we had some personnel, emergency crews there. So I-29, I think it was northbound. I'm trying to find the text here. Accident on northbound 29 just past the 32nd Avenue. Lots of lights flashing. So 29 and 32nd Avenue, you got the tri-level, which is where I-29 and 94 meet, for those of you that might not be familiar with what I speak of here. And now 94, which is, of course, the one that goes into Moorhead. Well, if you're coming from Moorhead to West Fargo, there's been an accident that sounds like it's at a standstill there. With all that said, I understand people need to utilize the interstates, but if you can find alternate routes, if it's just getting from point A to B in town, find another way. Eric, you got another road report?
Yeah, it's feeling like a repeat of a couple days ago because this caller said he was heading north on 29 and saw a couple rollovers in that 12th Avenue North and County Road 20 area of I-29. They were in the southbound direction, but he said the roads look good, and then all of a sudden there'll be a slick spot. So you got to be real careful and take that cruise off.
Well, yeah, another great reminder. No cruise control. Headlights, no cruise, slow down, give yourself space. And I know just because I take that drive every day that, again, crews have been out. They have been busting tail to try to get the roads as safe, as drivable as possible, but the conditions weather-wise have not been ideal for the chemical, for the sand, whatever it is, to go out there and chip it up. And I know that from, I keep saying, it was Wednesday, right, in which we had the complete blizzard that was all directions, that you had the ice that started earlier at about 11 o'clock Wednesday. Well, that has stuck around just because we haven't had the ability to get out there and really scrape it down. So I know that stretch, especially near that County Road 20, which is where Amazon is now, that has been, of all the stretch north, the one that's been, I think, the most problematic. So, okay, to rephrase, to remind you where we started. 29, down at 32nd Avenue, an incident. 29 north of Fargo, so from 12th Avenue and up on that County Road 20, couple of incidents there. So I-29 slick. Tri-level on I-94. There's an incident of which there are a lot of vehicles involved, and there's a lot of emergency personnel. Incident 94, which is over on the bridge or near the bridge from Moorhead into Fargo. So that's where we're at. If you're in anywhere near those areas, time to probably take that exit, get elsewhere. Just provide some space for those emergency personnel to do their job. Probably sound like a broken record, but I know we have a new audience in this given situation, which they might be flipping through hearing for the first time. So if you're just leaving the office or the shop, the concert, whatever it is, be mindful of that. We will get you that weather update from Too Tall Tom Szymanski. He did say that there would be a little bit of accumulation today through this evening. We'll get that latest there. We'll wrap up the first hour of Afternoons Live. I see that Eric's taking more Road Warrior reports. We'll get those out as quickly as we can. We do have Kyle Avery gone outdoors at 3 o'clock as well. Another incident?
Yeah, quickly before the weather. Again on 94, this time between University and 25th on the Fargo side. There's another incident in the westbound direction. This is feeling like deja vu all over again.
Yeah. Well, my advice to you, keep it locked in, 790 AM or 104.7 FM KFGO, and we'll get you home as safely as we can, but it counts on all of you to let us know because you're the eyes out there, the Road Warriors. Continue to let us know at the Laney Studio line, 237-5948. And, of course, if you can only do so safely, I don't want you texting and driving, but you can text us at 35270. Get you that weather update from Too Tall Tom Szymanski. I'll come back to you right after this.
Robertson here with another News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? It Takes Two. Doug here with the morning crew this morning. News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michael, Voices Forces.
Too Tall Tom. Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Access, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night, the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Sprinkled in the Eye Consultants of North Dakota Text Club at 35270 is your rock request for a Friday or song request. Johnny Paycheck, thanks for sending that in. We've got a lot more to come your way, but those are sprinkled in amongst road reports. Another one that Tyler, have you heard of the interstate conditions? What is I-94 westbound like? Okay, if you are planning on using I-94 westbound, chances are you're probably not moving very quickly at all right now because you have an accident that was reported on the bridge from Moorhead into town, or into Fargo, I should say. You've got the tri-level, which is a complete mess right now because there's a multi-vehicle accident. There are personnel on the ground. I believe if I understood the caller, eastbound I-94 between University and 25th also missed. The interstate conditions sound, from what I'm gathering from all of you, and I do appreciate you all calling off air and texting in, the interstate system sounds not ideal. Conditions not good. That's what I could say. So I have heard, and the conditions are not good. Westbound I-94 sounds to be as though it might be the worst of it right now. And that's in comparison to some spots all over. Again, Wednesday was all over the board. So, as somebody has said, slow down, headlights on, seatbelt on as well, and of course, give yourself time, all of that. You're probably rolling your eyes, and Tyler, we get it. Well, you know what? As we just found out, other people are tuning in because you come here whenever there's weather, whenever there's road reports, whenever there is news to be made. That's why we're number one in that area by a long shot. 237-5948, the Laney studio line. When we come back, I got to get you caught up with CBS National News. We'll check in with Paul Juergens as well for our local headlines in the KFGO News Center. Kyle Agri, him and Scott Brewer have gone outdoors. You can catch that here every Saturday. We're going to get a preview of what they have in store for you tomorrow. Quite frankly, just talk outdoors. We've been making ice. Are those conditions improved since, say, 2 weeks ago? We'll find out from him. Erica Rapp from FargoUnderground.com going to be in studio. We'll tell you what's going on in downtown Fargo. $25 and a gift card to the Boiler Room on the line because they do sponsor that segment as well. Then we're heading to Outlet Recreation. They did sponsor this studio as well, but we're going to tell you about the Rummage sale going on all through the weekend. I'm Tyler Axis. This is KFGO Fargo.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. Right. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. You know, that's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? It Takes Two. Doug here with the morning crew this morning. News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces. Too tall. Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Access your home.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working.
KFGO time, 3:05 Friday afternoon. If you're just joining us, we're taking a number of calls, number of texts about road conditions in the area, and I can tell that more people are tuning in off and on because we're getting questions about how the roads are in town. I can tell you that the interstates through town, not good. I do not know for the other roadways. And I think that's what people are asking. How are the roads in town, both Fargo and Moorhead? All we've gotten as of right now are really the interstate updates, and those updates are not good. But if in town, because that's what I should ask you that are traveling around, because people are going to be wanting to take those alternate routes. So I see people calling in right now. Maybe we'll get an answer for you, as we did earlier from somebody asking I-29 north of Fargo to Grand Forks. So keep it locked in here. We will give you as up-to-date information as we can. We do have Kyle Agri with Gone Outdoors going to be joining us here in just a couple of moments. So we'll have that conversation, but we will break in with anything that you need to know to get you home on your evening commute safely as possible. I'm Tyler Axis, your host. Eric Johnson, he's the one that's answering the phone when you call in with those road reports. Coming back with you right after this.
KFGO News, cloudy, 20 degrees. I'm Paul Juergens. The University of North Dakota plans to end its work on a policy for gender inclusion. The policy would have required use of a transgender person's preferred pronouns and the use of locker rooms, bathrooms, and living arrangements that align with a person's gender identity. The policy was recently criticized by the North Dakota Catholic Conference. UND President Andy Armacost decided to stop work on the policy, saying existing state and federal policy should be enough. Grand Forks Mayor Brandon Wyshynski had criticized the policy but later apologized. Police are investigating a report of a spectator becoming unruly with a high school referee in Lake Park, Minnesota. A person reported that a 45-year-old Detroit Lakes man became angry during a high school basketball game last week. The caller said the man made obscene gestures with both hands and grabbed a 71-year-old referee during the game. Lake Park Audubon School Superintendent Tim Godfrey says he's aware of the report but was not at the game. Lake Park Police and the Becker County Sheriff's Office are investigating. A jury of 18 people has been picked for the federal trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged in George Floyd's death. The judge told potential jurors the case has absolutely nothing to do with race. The jurors appeared to include one person of Asian descent among the 12 jurors who would deliberate if no alternates are needed. A second person of Asian descent was among the 6 alternates, with others appearing white. The court would not provide demographic information. A North Dakota Powerball player has claimed a $150,000 Powerball prize from Wednesday's draw. The winner from Bismarck chose to remain anonymous. They hit it big with a quick pick ticket. The winner didn't think that she had won much at first. She told the state lottery office that after a funny feeling, she checked the numbers again and realized she'd won. The woman says she plans to use some of the money to pay bills. Mostly cloudy, still a bit breezy this afternoon. Looks like the snow has moved through the Fargo-Moorhead area off to the southeast for now. And approaching 23 for the high. Temperature has been rising the last few hours. Windy tonight, scattered snow showers this evening, decreasing clouds and the wind dying off later on. Still some areas of blowing snow, overnight 6 below. Tomorrow 6 above, mostly cloudy with a chance of light snow in the afternoon. 15 below then tomorrow night. Sunday mostly cloudy, chance of light snow, blowing snow 15. Again, Fargo-Moorhead cloudy and 21. Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
Playing your ballads on a Friday afternoon in honor of Meatloaf, but honestly, we're taking all your Road Warrior reports, and I got one right now. Derek Hansen, what's your 10-20? Come on.
Well, I came back from Outlet Recreation in Detroit Lakes, as you know, and visibility was a little bit better than going there. But it was, the good news is that it's gotten a little warmer. The bad news is that warm weather, we kind of had this the other day, has made the situation where the streets are a little bit greasy. You just kind of slide around, especially when you come up to the intersections. And so you might want to take your time on there because we hit a yellow light and it can kind of make it a little bit slick. So I took your advice. I made a move. I thought maybe I'd come over on 336 and come up the interstate, but I don't want to go that. Actually, just kind of heading over there to look up it right now. But as far as coming through like Highway 10 to Main Avenue and all that, everything seems to look good. But as the callers are wondering, if you're driving in town, just take your time. Don't rush up to the intersections because it's, all this warmer weather has made it a little bit greasy.
Yeah, well, that's where give yourself some space and slow down. Turn the headlights on, all of the above. So in town, you're saying it's doable if you just mind the conditions, which is pretty typical this time of year.
Yeah, and I just saw someone almost jump over the curb, and he came up to the intersection. It's just funny, as he said that, he just kind of slid up, actually, and because he came up to the stoplight, and he just slid up to so that's what's happening. So just want to make sure when you're coming to the intersections to, a lot of people like to go 30 miles an hour and just hit the brake at the end. Well, you can't, and that's good in July, maybe. You shouldn't do it in July either, but it's certainly not a good thing to do right now.
Absolutely not. Derek, are you coming back to the studio? Am I going to see you in a little bit?
I eventually will, yeah. But I'm going to put more gas in. So, yeah. It's obviously it's been a tough going, the last couple of days, but hopefully this commute home will be okay.
Yeah, very good. Derek, you get here. Thanks for the road report. We'll see you in just a little bit, all right? All right. I don't know. I'm going to have Kyle Eggery in a moment, but Eric has taken more road Lowry reports on the break here.
Yeah, I'm getting close to the end of my second page of notes. So a texter asked about in-town driving. A couple calls that say intersections are getting really, really slick. One of them said that he had just slid through an intersection. Another one said that intersection right at University in Maine, where it's got a little uphill to it, is getting real tough for drivers to navigate. I missed if Derek covered this when he was on his way back on Highway 10, but there was a 2-car incident in Dilworth on Highway 10, right by the Walmart there. The second caller said he came across that incident on the tri-level right when it happened and saw it, and just it's slick everywhere. In town, out of town, interstate, surface streets, it's slick.
It is. So slow down. Give yourself space, because you're hearing people sliding through these intersections because you're probably not giving yourself enough space. Maybe going a little too fast for the conditions. More reports coming in. I will get to those. In fact, I think I'm going to be visiting with Kyle Eggery, who is also on the road. Kyle, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Tyler, we're doing great here. We are on the road. We're headed east of town here, east of Dilworth. And coming from North Fargo, we took that cut across here. We're just about to Highway 9, and pretty much in line with what Derek was saying, the scattered slippery spots and drifting and blowing snow, but overall not terrible if you just take your time.
Yeah, I think that's the theme I'm gathering is it's manageable, certainly a lot better than what it was on Wednesday, but you just got to be patient. And if you're a regular listener, you know that that's something I struggle with. So I'm going to heed my own advice once I punch out of here after the show here. But get going where you are as well. But you've got outdoors. I imagine you're going to the outdoors right now or for this weekend, getting ready for the show tomorrow. So how are things? Last time you and I chatted, ice spots weren't what we wanted. We were hoping because it had been so dang cold, but then we had the wind, the snow. Have conditions improved out there, Kyle?
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be real telling, and some of the reports I've gotten have said that little spell of warm weather was enough to kind of settle down that light and fluffy snow cover that was on the lake and kind of mesh it together with the slush and water underneath, and that was a big problem. And then we got the blast of cold that came back in. So a lot of the areas I'm hearing, that's all freezing up pretty solid. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy to travel around because it is kind of rough, but it gives us the opportunity to know that maybe we've got it solidified a little bit and we're on the right track.
Well, that's good. You are right to say traveling's still going to be a little bumpy. I know we had Tanner Trini with Devil's Eye Tourism on yesterday saying snowmobiles, anything with tracks on is probably ideal right now. You can get around otherwise, but just because of those conditions, probably if you can, those are the things you're going to want to be using to pull whatever out and get some good luck. It sounds as though some spots have been having a lot of success when it comes to the bite.
Well, I tell you what, the fishing is always good, right? The catching, some days it's hit and miss, some days it's really good. And one of the things we've been battling, Tyler, is all of these different fronts that have come through. You know, the temperatures up and down and the wind and changing directions. And you know what? Those fish don't really like that. So if we get a couple of days of stable weather, and that's when those good reports are coming in, is when we get a couple of days where things are stable and those fish get to settle down a little bit, and then they're going to eat.
Oh, well, we're going to be getting an update from Too Tall Tom here in about half hour, and I don't know if it's good news or bad news. I'll let you listen from the expert himself. As far as it seems as though we have these clipper systems, one after another, and then obviously we're hearing about it when it comes to road conditions, but also those fishing reports, as you say. It just seems like it's been the roller coaster for weather over the last 4 weeks, and I don't know that that's going to be lighting up anytime soon. But don't take it from me. Take it from the best dang meteorologist in the area. So you're heading out. We're going to be visiting, and you know, next week's a big week as well. I know we got I think the boat show. We've got Outlet Recreation having their show going on. We'll be visiting with them later. With all that, you guys have been busy. What's coming up on the show tomorrow?
Hey, we have been busy. In fact, we're busy now. We are headed out of town. I have the much better half of Brewer and Agri. I have Mrs. Brewer and Mrs. Agri with me. And Scott is already down at the lake. He's getting everything set up. We're going to go fishing for a Friday night ice fish and bite here. Then we're gonna do the show tomorrow. We've got speaking of the Red River Valley Boat and Marine Products Show, we've got Barry Sinenko. He's the guy behind that event, and he's going to preview what we can expect next weekend up at the Fargo Dome and kind of give us a little taste of what's going on there. We are going to talk about another big event that is taking place next week, and that is the Brainerd Ice Fishing Extravaganza. Yes. Andrew J. is the director of that event, and he's going to give us an update. Let us know how ice conditions there are on Gull Lake and what they're going to do to prepare for that group of, 10,000 or more anglers that are going to be participating in that event. And in our last interview, we're looking forward to this conversation with this gal, Marissa Jensen. She's with Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever, and she's putting on a virtual career fair for folks who want either coming out of college or whether they're looking for a career change themselves to get involved in some of the outdoors and conservation type occupations. So really some good information and some great updates from our fantastic guests. Yeah, it sounds like a stacked lineup, and you're going to be able to catch that tomorrow right here on KFGO. Glad to hear that we're going to get an update on the Brainerd JC's extravaganza. I've only heard of one ice fishing tournament having to cancel because of conditions, and that was at Lake Ashtabula. I haven't heard any other ones, and I think that's a good sign, Kyle. And if I've missed them, I apologize. No, I would say that's based on what I've heard, the same scenario, just that Ashtabula one that was canceled, and everything I'm hearing from Gull Lake. There was a press release here yesterday. It sounds pretty good, and we'll hear it directly from the guy himself tomorrow. So I'm thinking things are looking on the up and up. Very good. Kyle, I'm going to let you go a little early because I know you're out on the road there. You get where you're going safe, and we'll see you probably up at the boat show next week, all right? It sounds great, Tyler. Thanks, and everybody have a great weekend. Yeah, you do the same, my man. Kyle Agri, him, Scott Brewer, Gone Outdoors. You catch that every single Saturday right here on KFGO. More messages coming in about the road conditions. I will get to all those right after this quick pause in the action here. I'm Tyler Axis. If you have you see an incident or want to relay any other information, I'm going to repeat the Laney studio line for you. That's 237-5948. And if you do so safely, the text club is at 35270. Our sponsor, iConsultants of North Dakota. Want to thank them for sponsoring the text club. I'm coming back to you right after this. Don't go anywhere.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night, the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Robertson here with another News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek Hansen, Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? It Takes Two. Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning. Jerkins News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Force.
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
On KFGO. Long, cold winter, and boy, it feels like it's been a long, cold week here in the upper Midwest. But I do want to thank everyone for sending in those road reports. You're the eyes out there for us, and we'll continue that throughout the show here. We do have Erica Rep from FargoUnderground.com coming on in just a little bit. She'll tell you about the downtown Fargo-Moorhead happenings this weekend. Tyler, I'm going to the text club here. Tyler, I would have expected this, meaning weather conditions, road conditions. If the sun was shining and it was 21 degrees, but I will be honest, I'm very confused how the snow stuck, and I got the slippery at cloudy in 21. Had to take my car in for an oil change, and I've seen 2 flip overs and 4 to 5 people in the ditch, and people are sliding through intersections. Yeah, it's not good. It's not ideal. I know you can maneuver if you just, again, give yourself time, space, slow down, and be listening to KFGO, because we'll tell you about those accidents or obstructions on the roadway that are going to slow you down even further than when I'm hoping you're slowing down on the miles per hour. But yeah, it's another one of those days. I know it's Friday afternoon and people are eager to punch out and get out of the office, get out of the shop, get out of the rig, and just get home. Enjoy it. And as one of our texts said, tell people to be careful tonight. Roads are rough, but the traveling public wants to be in front of the TV tomorrow night for the Packers win. Now, you had me up until for the Packers win. Now, let me tell you, if the Green Bay Packers have any weakness, of which there's very few because they've been playing very great football. Aaron Rodgers on the field has been playing great. We can talk about him lying and being a diva, of which I would categorize him as being certainly this year compared to others. But their run defense, not great. 49ers running offense, pretty good. You eat up that clock if you're running that football. It's going to be a cold, cold night in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Home field advantage certainly there for the Packers. No question there. Going to have a loud crowd as well. Didn't have a crowd, or not much of one, last year when they got to the NFC Championship and lost to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I do not want a repeat of that. I really, for the life of me, do not want to see Tom Brady, but most importantly, the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl this year. So please, let's not do that. I'm going for the Rams, and I'm kind of going for the Niners. I don't know why. I've got really nothing against Green Bay. I've got no dog in the Green Bay versus Minnesota rivalry, that is. I don't care. It's fun. I love the back and forth you have, but it doesn't really impact me a whole heck of a lot. But I feel like I'm going for the Niners.
I'm with you there on the Rams. I'm kind of on the Bengals.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking
Bengals.
NFC here.
Yeah.
No, I'm a Bills. I am a Bills Mafia fan right now.
If it's Bills Bengals in the AFC Championship, that's going to be a fun game
I'm
to
throwing
watch.
you through a table. If the Bills, we will find
We'll
a
get
table, and
ourselves
I will
a
throw
white-
you through it.
A white plastic table.
Who makes those tables?
Costco?
Rubbermaid?
Yeah,
I mean,
who knows?
they've got to be thrilled that every single football weekend in Buffalo, there's thousands of people being thrown through tables.
I can't believe they can still find them in Buffalo. Honestly, you figure they'd
You
been
think they
sold
come
out.
in on crates?
They must.
Drop them off in the parking lot. Because we'll pick up the damage when it's done. I don't know how it became a thing, but it is a thing. If you have not watched a tailgate out in Buffalo or watch people getting thrown through tables, you're missing out. 237-594, that's Lenny's studio line. I Consultants of North Dakota, text club at 35270. Oh, by the way, I'm sitting in the Outlet Recreation Studio. When we come back, Eric Rapp, FargoUnderground.com. That's brought to you by the Boiler Room.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Outlet Recreation. Outlet Recreation's annual Recreation Rummage sale is going on now through Sunday in Detroit Lakes.
Fargo-Moorhead cloudy, south wind at 15. It's 21. I'm Paul Jerkins. COVID-19 complications are now blamed for the deaths of 12 school workers in Minnesota, bringing the total to 20 since August 2020. Education Minnesota President Denise Speck says she understands the value of private health information, but she would like to see the state release more information.
It would be wonderful if the Department of Health could release some information that would help us get a better of sense of what's going wrong. How can we do this better?
3 Minnesota students have also died from the virus. More than 500 students and staff have been hospitalized with COVID. 7 restaurants are suing the city of Minneapolis, hoping to stop the vaccine mandate. The lawsuit claims that Mayor Jacob Fry exceeded his authority in requiring that bar and restaurant customers show proof that they've been vaccinated against COVID-19. Greg Urban owns Wild Greg Saloon, one of the businesses filing the lawsuit.
Really doesn't make sense to put it on now. I wouldn't have supported it in the first place, but it certainly makes no sense now that we peaked and are about to be coming down probably rather fast. So it's troubling timing.
The businesses want a judge to issue an injunction to end the mandate. 21, this is KFGO News. This is KFGO News. Police are investigating a report of a spectator becoming unruly with a high school referee in Lake Park, Minnesota. A person reported that a 45-year-old Detroit Lakes man became upset during a high school basketball game last week. The caller said the man made obscene gestures with both hands and grabbed a 71-year-old referee during the game. Lake Park Police and the Becker County Sheriff's Office are investigating. A statue of President Theodore Roosevelt that has been long criticized by civil rights activists has been removed from New York's American Museum of Natural History. The statue will be moved to the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in Medora, North Dakota. The statue, unveiled in 1940, depicts Roosevelt on horseback with a Native American man on one side and a black man on the other. In June 2020, the museum requested that the statue be removed. The New York City Public Design Commission voted last June to remove the statue. The library is scheduled to open in 2026, the 250th anniversary of the U.S. St. Paul native Louis Anderson has died of blood cancer in Las Vegas. The 68-year-old comedian got his start on the national scene in 1984 when he was a guest on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. From there, he won 3 Emmys and became an icon for rising stars. He was also known for his charitable work.
There's a big all for one for all attitude in Minnesota. And I also learned about being generous and being charitable on the receiving end as a poor child. And that transferred over to my adulthood, to be giving and to be charitable.
Anderson was also a best-selling author. He was one of 11 children. A Republican-dominated South Dakota House Committee has rejected Governor Noem's proposal to require public schools to have a moment of silence to start the school day. The Republican governor first billed the proposal at a conservative Christian conference last year as putting prayer back in schools. But a House committee rejected the idea after education groups argued that voluntary prayer is already allowed in schools, and the proposed law would have saddled teachers with an unclear mandate. The Republican-dominated House Education Committee rejected the bill on a 9-6 vote. It could still be revived with support from 1/3 of House members. Winds have subsided significantly in Fargo-Moorhead now out of the south at 15. Still some wind to contend with tonight. Scattered snow showers this evening, decreasing clouds and wind. And 6 below for the overnight low. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy near 6 degrees. A chance of light snow in the afternoon. Clearing overnight tomorrow night, 15 below. Mostly cloudy Sunday. Perhaps some light snow, blowing snow, 15. Near 4 degrees for a high on Monday. And that's likely in the morning. Partly sunny, windy, some blowing snow. And Tuesday, mostly sunny and just 6 below for the high. Fargo-Moorhead, it is cloudy and 22. Paul Jerkins, News Radio, KFGO.
Illusions, Rusty. They're illusions.
Illusions?
They're illusions. Ever watch Arrested Development? I cannot hear this song and not think about Job in Arrested Development.
No, I can't help you on that one.
Or Gob is something
Job Bluth.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Watch like the first 4 seasons of Arrested Development.
Okay.
You got time.
Oh,
You're
sure.
not a very busy man ever.
Oh, sure. No, lots of time.
We got caught up on Book of Boba Fett last night. You got time to watch Arrested Development now?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother deal.
That's a whole other universe.
Baby.
Yeah. Finally picked up some steam. Not doing any spoilers for you.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Not coming from me. I'm not going to ruin your weekend that way.
Only spoiler, Boba Fett is alive.
He did make it through his ordeal and that whole Return of the Jedi thing.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that's the one and only you're going to get from us. Last week we were talking about, hey, spoiler, every commodity's going through the same thing. Input costs.
Yeah.
Are you going to get it? And if so, how much is it going to cost?
Yep.
So,
when you come to seeds, inputs, you name it, you bet, fertilizer.
Every single commodity.
Yep. Earlier today, though, we were over at Bean Day, the North Harvest Bean Growers Association, hosting their annual Bean Day back in person this year at the Holiday Inn. And we want to thank not only the North Harvest Bean Growers, but also Fessenden Co-op Association and SRS Commodities for helping us cover Bean Day. And we talked with Eric Samuelson. He's from Crookston, Minnesota. He's a grower, and he's the president of the North Harvest Bean Growers Association. And he says there is a lot of optimism as we look to the season ahead. Now, if folks want to listen to the entire visit with Eric, we've got that posted up on our website, kfgo.com, under the podcasts or under the agriculture tab, Growing Harvest Ag Network. And also, we'll have that full interview during the Agribiz show on Sunday morning right here on KFGO during the 7 o'clock hour.
See, this man doesn't take a day off. You are too busy to watch Arrested Development. You'll be here on Sunday working. You're working all hours. All over the place.
Yeah, you bet. You bet.
Thanks for giving us a little bit of your time, though. I always appreciate you coming on in.
Yeah, Boba Fett, I mean, can't say much.
Can't say much more
than
what we already
spoil
did.
it.
You get out there, you watch your Disney Plus accounts is all I'm saying.
Yep.
Rusty, appreciate it. We'll see you on Monday, all right?
Have a great weekend, my friend.
Drive safe.
Yeah, you too.
Rusty Alverson, him, Sarah Heinrich, multi-award-winning agriculture journalists. You can go to kfgo.com and click on the agriculture tab for this interview and so much more. Going to get you caught up with CBS National News. We got Road Warrior reports continuing to come in. I see Eric is on the phone. You can join the ladies' studio line at 237-5948. And, of course, the Eye Consultants of North Dakota text club at 35270. We had a little bit of a lull, or I'm hoping that the roads were getting better, but now I see phone lines are letting up. We'll take the priority of getting those reports out to you as quickly as possible so you can get where you are going as well. Another Road Warrior report. Do you want to get on air? No, we'll come back to that after CBS National News. Eric Rapp next.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio.
JJ Gordon from It Takes Two.
Doug here with the morning crew this morning.
Jerkins News Radio.
Katie Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Somebody in studio that could probably sing every word to this song. Erica Rapp, how you doing?
That's actually very true.
I bet it is. I'm not kidding.
I'm doing well, other than the fact that I have teared up quite a few times over Meatloaf's death today.
I know. That got us on the theme of power ballads throughout the day.
Oh,
here.
That's a good topic.
It's been a good mix of songs. I haven't even given which one I wanted to hear yet. I wanted to hear More Than Words. by Extreme.
If you like Google top power songs, have you done that yet? I feel like you have.
Of course I have.
Okay, so what are in the top? I'm curious.
Okay, well you ask. You buckle up.
Whitesnake.
Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
How is that a power ballad?
Wild World by Mr. Big. Is This Love by Whitesnake. Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx. Black Velvet. That's a good tune as well. Okay, we got the rest of the show panned out now based on the top 10 power ballads.
The first song that comes to my mind when I think of a power ballad, other than like Whitesnake, would be like maybe Warrant or...
I think we had some Warrant just a little bit ago.
I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith.
Angel we played instead.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because there are different eras of Aerosmith. You have the
like
classic
80s
rock.
Yeah.
Then you have the 90s with the Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler music videos.
But there's like a huge hair metal power ballad genre too.
Yeah.
That's great.
Which one do you prefer? The 90s era Aerosmith or the power ballads?
Probably the power ballads.
I don't know.
I'm like very indifferent about Aerosmith in general, but that song that I just mentioned is awesome.
That's yours. I think we know what we're playing on the way out. No, we're playing More Than Words on the way out. We got to come in with that banger. Okay, that's how I called you in here. And I'm not the producer. I'm just saying, come in with More Than Words. Because we'll all sing it together as we get you home. And actually,
we're not holding hands.
No, we are not. You can watch actually us on YouTube right now or at kfgo.com. I called you in here because the Boiler Room in downtown Fargo says, let the world know what's going on.
Yes.
And then give them $25. What's going on this weekend?
Yeah, it's kind of a busy weekend downtown. I actually kind of had a hard time narrowing down my list, which is cool. But tonight we've got Zach Thomas's album release show with Brian Lowry at Fargo Brewing Company. That starts at 8. Zach Thomas is a local country music musician that competed on American Idol a couple years ago, actually. And Brian Lowry is a former frontman for 32 Below. So it's kind of like a country power couple act.
We've had Brian on a couple of times on Afternoons Live, and I did see that Zach Thomas was going to be coming to town. I didn't know that he was on American Idol, though.
Yeah. So go check that out if you're in the mood for some country tunes. Again, at Fargo Brewing at 8 o'clock. There is going to be unkaraoke at the Troll Lounge, a new concept. If you've never been to the Troll Lounge, it is in the Sons of Norway. This is going to start at 8 o'clock and go till 10. So basically, if you love singing karaoke, but you don't want to get up on stage or don't want to do it in front of people, you can sing it at your table, which I think is so cool.
Spotlight. So you can still indulge in the cocktails and get that liquid courage up, but you just don't have to go stand physically in front of people to do it.
Right,
That's
exactly.
half the fun is doing the awkward eye contact with people that are just having a terrible time about whatever song you're singing.
Kind of, but I think before, like, I got really into karaoke, I'd be like, I don't want everyone, like, looking at me when I'm singing and stuff. Like, I can understand that part of it, but realistically, like, karaoke is one of those things where you just universally accept that everyone's kind of bad at it, unless you're, like, a really good singer, obviously, but no one really cares if you're bad or, like, super good.
But just keep in mind, if you are singing loudly at your table and still not doing good, people will probably turn around.
Yeah, that's true.
And that awkward eye contact will still happen.
Yes, good point.
Give it a shot, though. Troll Lounge was just having the turnaround that's going on down there is just a great story in of itself.
Right. There's a new food menu that's going on Wednesday through Saturday. We've talked about it on air the last couple of weekends, but they've got bluegrass nights, live music nights, comedy, trivia, a whole bunch of stuff going on. And the Troll Lounge is fun and it's cozy. They do have happy hour from 4 to 7, so if you're listening now, you can go in, do happy hour, and then maybe stick around for karaoke. I don't know. Sounds fun to me.
The unkaraoke.
The unkaraoke.
Sing at your table.
There's also going to be live music from Rachel Meyer at Front Street Tap Room tonight from 8 to 10 p.m. She's a singer-songwriter from Minnesota. She mostly plays in Fargo, performing with her ukulele, and she writes indie pop songs with a mix of her ukulele and a piano. So that sounds
very unique, to be honest. All the combination, all the words you just said, very unique.
Right. Going into Saturday, we've got a Fire Fest at Red Raven Espresso Parlor. I believe they're calling this Fire Fest because it's in an old firehouse.
Okay, because I remember another Fire Fest that we don't want to talk about.
Not because they're going to defraud everybody that goes there.
They're not going to be handing out cheese sandwiches on white Wonder Bread.
Yeah, I still think about that photo.
That was Ja Rule, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ja Rule. Yeah, Ja Rule will not be at this Fire Festival.
Murder Inc. Ja Rule.
So this is going to be Saturday and Sunday. Doors will be at 6. Shows with live music will be at 7. There is a beach-themed noise after party at 10:30 p.m. I'm not really sure what that means, but I do know what a beach theme is, so go check that out. It is $7 per day or $10 if you want to go to the whole festival. It is a fundraiser for them to buy a new espresso machine. And there's going to be a whole bunch of different raffles and giveaways and stuff going on the whole weekend as well. So go help out local espresso parlor in the old firehouse for Firefest.
For the Firefest.
Also for that, masks are required. And they will be taking temperatures at the door. So don't go if you're sick, obviously.
All those precautions to go on in and enjoy a beach theme thing.
Beach-themed noise after party.
Oh, yeah,
noise after party.
I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. I lost track on the sheet.
We also got live music tomorrow night from Dan Christensen over at Swing Barrel Brewing on the Moorhead side. 7 to 10 p.m. He's a local singer-songwriter with a unique style. He'll play anything from the Beatles to John Denver to the Zach Brown Band. Kind of everything in between.
Very good.
And if you go to Swing Barrel, they've got this Mexican lager that is probably one of the best beers locally made in town. And I would die on that hill.
That is saying something. We just had Swing Barrel on last week.
Yeah, their beers are very good.
Yeah, I have not had a Swing Barrel beer that I did not enjoy.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily picky, but no. I mean,
you're kind of picky, I feel like, right? With beers?
No, I'm not a beer snob. I drink Busch Light, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you don't really drink like sours and stuff.
I don't do the, if I had to rank, IPAs are at the bottom.
Yeah, I probably could have guessed that.
Okay.
I feel like we've been drinking beers together for like 4 years.
If that categorizes me as being a beer snob and picky, then yes, I guess I'll own that.
I wouldn't say picky. Selective is maybe a better word, but everybody's kind of like that with their beer.
Okay.
Anyway,
Thanks
going
for
into
throwing me in front of that oncoming bus. Go
Tyler
on.
does not like IPAs very much. Going into Sunday, we've got brunch with Cold Sweat at 701 Eateries. This is going to be in the Prairie Kitchen, which is the lower level. Cold Sweat is a local rapper, and he's going to be spinning the turntables from noon to 2 p.m. So go eat some good food and listen to some good tunes. There's also bingo for a cause at Wild Terra from 12 to 3 p.m. $1 will buy you a bingo card and a plate of snacks. And then if every pint that you sell, $1 goes to a nonprofit of your choice. $1 of every pint that you buy, $1 of that goes to a nonprofit of your choice. So play bingo, drink cider, and do good.
Feel good about it?
For a good cause, yeah.
This one comes to Tyler. There are 2 great documentaries about the Fire Festival on Netflix and Hulu.
That is true. I've watched both of them.
Oh, I have not. So
you should. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Interesting. Would it get me angry over the weekend?
I wouldn't say
about the
angry.
defrauding?
Yeah, I don't know about angry. It's just, it's interesting. I mean, it's a crummy deal no matter what.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Just,
yeah, I know the outcome. Again, back to the spoilers that we're talking about the rest of your house, and I know the outcome.
It kind of gives you a little bit of anxiety watching it, though, because they interview people that are like stuck in the airports and they're trying to get to the island, and then they're just.
Well, for your American cheese slice on white Wonder Bread.
Right.
Anything else?
Well, if you missed anything, you can go to FargoUnderground.com. I also highly encourage everybody to check out the Frostival events that are going on around town.
Yes.
Not all of them are downtown. They are literally all over Fargo-Moorhead until like the 3rd week of February. So there's stuff for all ages, and it's really cool. It's a really fun way for our city to embrace winter. So go out and support that if you can.
It's getting bigger every year.
Yep.
Also, Eric, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks.
We'll chat again next week. And Erica Rapp from FargoUnderground.com. That's brought to you by the Boiler Room, and I've got $25 in a gift card literally in my hand. Be caller number 7-237-59 for it. This $25 is yours. Get you that weather update from Too Tall Tom. More road reports next.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. Right. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Robertson here with another News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio.
JJ Gordon from It Takes Two.
Doug here with the morning crew this morning.
News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voice of Sports.
Too tall.
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah
7.
Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
So today on MSUM campus we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
It's closer to having our couple of days off here on Afternoons Live. I'm Tyler Raxis, your host. Eric Johnson's our producer. Road Warrior reports can be sent into the Laney studio line at 237-5948. And, of course, you can text them to 35270. Tyler, bad accident on I-94 eastbound between 8th Street and 20th Street. Lots of police cars causing a slowdown and back up on both sides. So, again, that's on the Moorhead side, 8th Street, 20th Street. Eastbound, there was an accident that's delaying some traffic there. If you have any updates on the other accidents we've been following along for the last 2 hours, we will take those and share them with the rest of the KFGO audience. We're going to check in with Paul Juergens now. When we come back, we're going to tell you a little bit more about that outlet recreation rummage sale that is going on this weekend. Mike Larson joins us next.
KFGO News, Fargo-Moorhead 406. It is cloudy and 23 degrees. I'm Paul Juergens. UND President Andy Armacost says the university will stop work on its draft policy on gender inclusion and will not put it in place. The policy was recently criticized by the North Dakota Catholic Conference in a letter to parents of students in Catholic high schools. A UND spokesman says Armacost discussed the issue with UND student leaders in the Student Senate this week before deciding to stop work on the policy. At that same meeting, the Student Senate passed a resolution supporting continued development of the draft policy. Earlier this month, Grand Forks Mayor Brandon Bushensky publicly supported the Catholic Conference letter, but at a city council meeting this week, he apologized for his choice of words. A closed hearing in the federal trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers in George Floyd's killing was canceled today after prosecutors and the media objected. It's the second time that access became an issue. The judge scheduled the conference on the admissibility of some evidence that attorneys tried to block. After prosecutors objected, the judge canceled the hearing and met with attorneys and chambers instead. Media groups earlier this week raised concerns about restrictions on reporters and spectators in the courtroom. A North Dakota Powerball player has claimed a $150,000 Powerball prize from Wednesday's draw. The winner from Bismarck, who chose to remain anonymous, hit it big with a quick pick ticket. The winner didn't think that she'd won much at first glance. She told the state lottery that after a funny feeling, she checked the numbers again and realized she'd won. The woman says she plans to use some of the money to pay bills. The ticket was sold in Bismarck. Bismarck area Republicans have named a new lawmaker to fill out the term of Representative George Kaiser, who died last month. District 47 Vice Chairman Rob Eckert will serve the remaining 10 months of Kaiser's term. He will not run for re-election this year. Kaiser died at age 75 after battling Lou Gehrig's disease. Kaiser was first elected to the House in 1992. Fargo-Moorhead windy still for a bit tonight. They have subsided somewhat in Fargo-Moorhead now. Out of the south at about 15 miles an hour is all. Decreasing clouds, winds continuing to taper off. Still some areas of blowing snow, about 6 below for the overnight low. 6 above tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Some light snow possible in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, 15 below. Mostly cloudy on Sunday, about 15 degrees, with possible light snow blowing snow. Monday, partly sunny, windy. Areas of blowing snow, likely seeing a high in the morning of about 4 degrees. And mostly sunny Tuesday, the high only 6 below. Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
KFGO time, 4:10, final hour of the show for the week. And guess what? I'm broadcasting live from the Outlet Recreation KFGO studio. And this weekend, actually going on right now, the 16th annual Recreation Rummage sale taking place. Here to tell you all about that is Mike Larson with Outlet Recreation. Mike, how things been, man?
Things have been going pretty well.
Good.
A lot of people thinking about summer, which is good.
Yeah. Well, after this week, I can't fault them one bit, Mike. I tell you, being in the studio here, Wednesday we had that blizzard. Today it sounds like road conditions are kind of dicey. If I could just have a pontoon on a lake with a cold beer, I'd be in heaven right now.
Well, here's the thing is that you come out to our store, we've got nearly 100 units inside. And when I say units, I'm talking about RVs, everything from pop-up campers to motorhomes. I'm talking about pontoons, fishing boats, jet skis. We have everything in between. We have mopeds. We have kayaks. All the stuff that you're going to want for summer. We have it all inside 70-degree comfort. And it just is a great place to go and start thinking about summer. And you feel warmer instantly right when you walk in the door.
Yeah, because you can picture yourself doing the activities with all the toys of which you just rattled off. And, I've got to say, I bought my ice castle from Outlet Recreation. And, Mike, I got to tell you, I think I must have got in right before everyone else had the same idea a couple of years ago. And I've loved it. I got it from Outlet, was able to walk through all the other models, found the one that suited us. But I know not very long after that, it seemed like inventory kind of dried up because everybody, like I said, had the same idea. Have we started to climb back? You mentioned the hundreds of inventory you got there. So are things looking up when it comes to I can go find what I need?
Yeah, right now we stocked up really heavy going into fall. Normally we don't want our merchandise coming in until probably February or March. But we stocked up really heavy going into fall because we knew we weren't going to get the product that we wanted to get in the spring. So we do have a lot of inventory right now. We have 3 lines of pontoons. We have Crestliner that we just brought on last year. So everything from sport boats to fishing boats. And then we have several lines of RVs that we've gotten a lot of stock in. Cherokee's one of our highest lines. On the fish house side, we probably have about 30 fish houses there. We'd like to probably have 60 or 70, but we have 30, which is better than 0. And so there still is plenty to choose from. And, the struggle to get inventory is always there. But I'll tell you what, if you want to come out now, the inventory is in stock, and you can see a lot of different options.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that's going on this weekend. It's going on right now, but it's be at the Detroit Lakes. I'll give you the address at 605 Highway 10 East. So let's say somebody's had a rig, whether it's an RV or a pontoon or you name it, and they say, you know what, I've been seeing what the campsite down the road's had, and I kind of want to maybe trade in. Is this the opportune time to do that as well, Mike?
Well, it is from the standpoint of valuation because, used product has never been worth more. We're giving people more on trade than they even paid for it if they bought it in the last 5 years. It's just been crazy. And so from that standpoint, it's a good time to trade. And we make it pretty easy because we will take pictures, or you bring in pictures. We'll take a look at your pictures. We'll get your description. We can give you value right on the spot.
I think you had a lot of people leaning forward in their rig or at their desk saying, oh, geez, I could maybe get more than what I paid for. That's a hell of a deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take place this week in Outlet Recreation. I would encourage you to go to outletrecreation.com because you've got some photos, as they're just saying, but this event, 16 years, you guys have got to be onto something to keep something going as long as 16 years.
Yeah, I think the real key to this is the fact that we have new and used products sitting side by side. So you might think you want a 5-year-old used one, but you can see that and you can see a brand new one and you can compare the price. It's all about what you get for the money. And so, you just compare what you get for a 5-year-old or 10-year-old used one. That's inside and the new ones are inside. You make your comparison and make the decision that's best for you.
And one thing I noticed when we were going through the process, this is the first time, and I can't speak highly enough of the crew, the sales, the service that's with the Outlet Recreation company here. It's one thing to go online and look at the photos at outletrecreation.com. It's a whole other thing going there, being able to touch it, smell it, walk through it. Because once you're in there, you get a real feel for, okay, I can see myself or our family. This is the one. That's not. The floor plans, the variety, you got to go there and check it out.
Yeah, just about everything that we sell, every product is something that nobody needs. We don't fill a need, we fill a want. And so, you have to kind of imagine yourself how you're going to use it. And it's a family decision. If you have, husband and wife and some kids, You guys are deciding where you're going to go, how often you're going to use it, what you're going to do when you're there. You can't have it all, so you kind of have to pick and choose. But it's a great place to start that whole conversation with your family. Do we want a pontoon? Do we want a fishing boat? Do we want an RV that we can travel in? And, there's something for everybody. And then if you have something that you're not using, we'll trade it in and switch you into something completely different so you get something you can use.
Sounds like everybody's got a chance to win if they show up. And, speaking of winning, I know that you have other activities got to be on site for you. You have some food available during certain hours. I see that you can spin a wheel to get some money off. Explain some of the other things besides the units you got out there for us, Mike.
Well, we always have food, so we're doing chili from 11 to 1 every day. And it's catered in chili, not Hormel cans or anything. I mean, this is pretty good chili. And so we do that from 11 to 1. And then everybody that makes a buying decision at the show is going to get a spin of our wheel. We've done this for 16 years. Our wheel's just about wore out. But so you can win up to $1,000 in additional discount depending on how lucky you are. Today only we're adding 50% onto that. So if you won $1,000, we'd up it to $1,500. That's a Friday only special, but everybody gets to do it no matter what day that you buy something. So you get some extra money, and we try to make it fun. Also, we have door prize every day. We're giving away $1,000 prize package. No purchase necessary. Just come on in and register. We give that away at the end of the day. Every day we have one of those.
Folks, you can't win if you don't play. Can't play if you're not out at the Outlet Recreation 16th Annual Recreation Rummage Sale. Again, I'm going to give you a head Detroit Lake, 605 Highway 10 East. Mike, is there anything about this that I missed that you're going to say, why didn't he ask before he let me go?
The only thing I want to add to this is that we handle all the financing for you. So we just make it easy. We can just do it all right at the store. The interest rates are really cheap, and the payments are way cheaper than you probably think they are. So we make it affordable as well.
Yeah, I'm very glad you threw that out there, because that process, again, the service that was all provided, all on location when we made our purchase, it was so easy. And you're right. Once you walk out of there and you're pulling the camper home and you realize how affordable it is to go out and enjoy the upper Midwest when it's actually sun shining and warm, you're gonna regret not at least having the conversation. That's what I would say. Mike,
well, we sure appreciate the kind words. Glad you're happy. We try our best with everybody.
Very good, Mike. I appreciate you taking time, and thanks for sponsoring the studio this week. You take care, and we'll chat again soon. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Mike Larson, Outlet Recreation. You can go to outletrecreation.com right now. You can actually go to the 16th Annual Recreation Rummage Sale and learn a little bit more about the giveaways you just heard right here. You can register for all those things. Check out your trade value all in one convenient spot. But I encourage you. I plan on heading out there tomorrow. I'm hoping that the road condition that we've been providing you updates throughout the show here improve just a little bit, getting on Highway 10, getting on out to take this in myself. Some of those accessories that once you're out there, you realize, you know what? You see other people utilizing, you kind of want one for yourself. I'm hoping that we're going to find that out there. But I won't find out until I get there, and I'll hopefully see you out there as well. I'm going to take a quick pause here. If you have any other additional road reports, by all means, you know how to send them in, and we'll get those to fellow commuters as I am watching us tick closer to the 5 o'clock punch-out, meaning that rush hour traffic and air quotes here. So we'll come back with those right after this. I'm Tyler Axis. Don't go anywhere.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Beer
Mighty
Cans and Couch
790.
Potato Radio.
JJ Gordon from It Takes Two.
Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning.
Jerkins News Radio.
Katie Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Now, this is a power ballad for you. Everyone can sing along to this one in your vehicle, driving slow.
I imagine once you get your backyard shed turned into the spot that you want,
my man cave,
you might pull out that acoustic guitar, start working on your picking.
Yeah. I won't have this harmony down, though.
Well, that's where you bring in the roommate to learn that harmony.
Yeah. Girl, you sing, I'll play. Or as I get in trouble from you as the listeners when I call her the old lady. Two 237-594. You can also text me at 35270. In fact, I'm going to go to the text club. Tyler, there's some intermittent periods of freezing rain from Verona to Valley City on Highway 1, and it is starting to get icy. Yeah, the last thing we need is the freezing rain to accompany all the other crappy conditions that have been impacting the roadways over the last week. If you're just joining us, we have been reporting off and on when you, the eyes for us out there, the road warriors, have been telling us about the conditions out there. And we haven't had any updates provided about the accidents. There have been multiple on the interstate system since when I sat down at 2 o'clock to right now at 4:24 KFGO time. But if they have been, cleared up, if people have been able to move, we'd love to hear back from you as well. I mean, it's one thing to let people know about the slowdown. It's another to say, okay, situations are clear or the crews are still working. So I can't do that from sitting in a windowless studio right now, so that's why we rely so much on you as friends of the show here. In the meantime, I'm going to get to the phone lines and visit with one of our other road warriors, Abby Miller, who is the producer of News and Views, joins us right now. Abby, how are things out there?
Hi, I was on my way to Wahpeton. Interstate going south was not great. quite a bit of blowing snow, and I was fighting with the wind a lot and just like random patches of ice. But now heading east on Highway 13, I'm getting beautiful mileage, and the roads are all clear.
They're all clear because
I didn't see anyone in the ditch, so that's good.
Very good, and I'm glad to hear it. Well, I think the wind may have changed a little bit of direction then, if it's blowing you and you're just basically coasting into Wahpeton. But glad to hear the roads are okay anyway; they're manageable.
Yeah. Well, you drive safe once it gets darker. I think it's gonna not be great for you.
Yeah, I've gotten accustomed to that over this very week of punching out at 5 o'clock, like so many of our listeners, and then at least it's staying lighter out enough for a lot of us to get home before that darkness does hit. Abby, get where you're going safe. Thanks for calling in. We'll chat again on Monday, all right?
See you.
Abby Miller, the producer of News and Views, had the whole KFGO personalities calling in, giving us updates. Derek Hansen, Joel Heidkamp, Abby Miller, Kyle Agri. So you can join that as well if there's anything you want to report to any other KFGO listeners. We got another half hour with you, and you know what? It's you, me, this microphone, your cell phone. Eric Johnson is my producer. I'm Tyler Axtis, your host. We'll take those road reports, also a couple of other items that we will share with you as well. I don't want to get all into the weeds about it because I know people are going to get all huffy on COVID-19. I don't want to have that. But I just want to ask you a question right now. Because the White House, the administration, did put out a website which you could go and get 4 free at-home COVID-19 test kits. Have any of you had any issues with that? That's just a basic question. If you have an answer, if you've tried it, I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, we'll get you caught up with KFGO News. More Afternoons Live next.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Ottertail Power Company, positively impacting communities they serve for more than a century.
Cloudy and 25. I'm Paul Juergens. 12 Minnesota school employees have now died from COVID-related health problems, bringing the total to 20 since August 2020.
We're going to continue to remember them and remind everyone that there are still fatalities going on, and we can do this better.
Education Minnesota's Denise Speck. Since the pandemic began, more than 500 students and staff have been hospitalized with COVID. Speck is continuing to urge students and staff to get the vaccine and wear masks. Police are investigating a report of a spectator becoming unruly with a high school referee in Lake Park, Minnesota. A person reported that a 45-year-old Detroit Lakes man became upset during a high school basketball game last week. The caller said the man made obscene gestures with both hands and grabbed a 71-year-old referee during the game. Lake Park Audubon School Superintendent Tim Godfrey says he's aware of the report, but he was not at the game. Lake Park Police and the Becker County Sheriff's Office are investigating. Cloudy and 25, this is KFGO News. Cloudy, 25 degrees. This is KFGO News. St. Paul-born comedian and actor Louis Anderson has died in Las Vegas at the age of 86 following a battle with blood cancer. Several years ago, Anderson said if you could put a dome over it, he'd come back to Minnesota.
You know, the older I get, the more I want to live in Minnesota with all my family and friends and all my familiar places and the niceness of Minnesota.
Anderson got his start at the Brave New Workshop Comedy Theater in uptown Minneapolis. He went on to win several Emmy Awards and appeared in more than a dozen movies. He got his start in television on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in 1984. Enbridge Energy says it has now stopped the flow of spilled artesian groundwater that began a year ago when workers installing the Line 3 oil pipeline in northwestern Minnesota punctured an aquifer. The spill near Enbridge's terminal in Clearbrook was one of the worst environmental incidents during construction of the 340-mile pipeline. Workers dug too deeply into the ground, and the rupture resulted in a 24-million-gallon groundwater leak. The companies told the DNR that it had stopped the leak on Tuesday. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem has released a proposal to ban most abortions. It is similar to a Texas law that leaves enforcement up to citizens through lawsuits instead of to prosecutors through criminal charges. The governor has reviewed the proposed law for weeks, and it has received an enthusiastic reception from the Republicans who dominate the legislature. The bill would ban abortions once medical professionals can detect cardiac activity, which is usually around the 6th week and before some women even know they're pregnant. Courts have blocked some states from imposing similar restrictions, but the Texas law has so far been allowed to stand. A statue of President Theodore Roosevelt that has long been criticized by civil rights activists has been removed from New York's American Museum of Natural History. The statue will be moved to the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in Medora, North Dakota. The statue, unveiled in 1940, depicts Roosevelt on horseback with a Native American man on one side and a black man on the other. In June 2020, the museum requested that the statue be removed. The New York City Public Design Commission voted last June to remove the statue. The library is scheduled to open in 2026. Fargo-Moorhead, windy for a time yet. We have seen the winds diminish quite a bit in Fargo-Moorhead this afternoon. Maybe some additional light snow this evening. And 6 below our anticipated overnight low. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, about 6 degrees for the high. Light snow possible in the afternoon tomorrow. Clearing and 15 below tomorrow night. Sunday near 15 degrees, mostly cloudy with a chance of light snow and blowing snow. Monday, partly sunny, windy, areas of blowing snow. High likely in the morning of about 4 degrees. And mostly sunny Tuesday and a chilly 6 below for the high. Cloudy 25, Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
No lightning crashing today, but I am getting in the text club that there is rain falling at mile 38 on I-29. Other road reports coming in as you are getting on the road, likely home, happy hour. I don't know where you're going, but you're probably leaving the office. Tyler, where is it here? The roads look like they are nice, but city streets are slippery, slipperier than crap. Watch it, and every stoplight, every intersection, anything downhill you're going to slide, please pass this along to the KFGO studio. Guess what? You already did just by texting in to 35270. Tyler, cars in the ditch around the Oxbow Kindred exit on I-29. Another one, this is a request for you, and we started, quite frankly, the show out with a similar question. Somebody, one of your fellow commuters asking conditions. Tyler, can you give an update on I-94 west of West Fargo if you have one? I just tuned in because I'm just getting off work. Thanks. Well, thanks for tuning in, but I just throw it out there. So if you know the conditions on I-94 west of West Fargo, we've got had a lot of I-94 updates in town, and they were not good. But if you know what it's like west of West Fargo on I-94, one of your fellow listeners would love to get an update for you. And I'll allow you to do that at the Laney studio line, 237-5948. And, of course, the iConsultants of North Dakota text club is 35270. Got to get you some national news headlines with CBS. We'll come back. We'll wrap up Afternoons Live for the week together right here on KFGO.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Beer
Mighty
Cans and Couch
790.
Potato Radio. Did you see that?
From It Takes Two.
Doug here with the morning crew this morning.
Jerkins News Radio.
Katie Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. Right. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Text comes in saying, "Rip Meatloaf." Yeah, if you're just joining us, we've been playing ballads all day, including some Meatloaf songs throughout there. But this is why I'm honored to be in this chair, especially on a week like this, in which people are listening, asking questions, and we rely on you as fellow listeners to provide some answers, because we started the show, and guess what? We're kind of ending the show the same way when it comes to these road conditions. Somebody asking how I-94 was west of West Fargo, and I've got a text. I know Eric took a call off air. I think they both say the same thing. 94 west is slick in spots. Don't let it fool you. The temperature is rising, so snow is starting to stick, so be cautious. And the wind did switch now and starting to pick up a little bit out there. And that echoes, Eric, what you got from a caller as well, saying it's spotty.
Yeah, this caller had left West Fargo about a half an hour ago, was in the Tower City area now, and he said it's slick in spots. He's still moving at 60-ish miles an hour, but you got to be careful. You got to keep that cruise control off.
Yes, no cruise. Slow down. Turn your lights on. Give yourself some space. And we'll get home together. Keep it locked into 790 AM and 104.7 FM as well. That doesn't hurt either. Here's one thing, and I've been noticing this happening more and more from my friends, because we all know, right? We want to share the photos, we want to share the videos of what's going on and where you are. Probably not the best move to be Snapchat videoing the roads progressively getting worse as you are driving. I saw 3 of my friends doing that on Snapchat during a break just now.
Yep.
Roads are slick. Roads are terrible. I see that. I don't need to see it. And you should be paying more attention to the road instead of on your phone capturing the moment.
Yeah, put that phone down.
Yeah, you call, because everything's hands-free now.
Right.
And if you're a passenger, you can text. Tyler, at 94 moving fine. 45th to the Red River Bridge. Slows down for a stalled vehicle, but I think that's been cleared. Thank you for that. Somebody's tongue-in-cheek wanting to remind you all to refill your headlight and blinker fluid. But also they say slow down. Yeah, and that's the key, is slowing down. Giving some space there. Don't Snapchat your experience as you're driving. Please don't be like my friends who are probably listening to me right now, and I'll start naming names if I see it one more time. Andy. 35270. You could also call me at 237-5948. I'd ask a question just in passing about this week. They started allowing you to go online and getting up to 4 free COVID-19 test, test packages, whatever. Test kits, I suppose is the word I'm looking for. I was wondering if you had any issues with it. And everybody, Tyler, tests were very easy to order. I haven't received them yet, but I ordered on the first day. Another one, no issues with ordering the test kits, quick and painless. One more for you. Tyler ordered a pack of 4 on Wednesday, name, address, and email optional. Too simple. Sounds like they will be shipped towards the end of January for a test per household. If they're shipped them, why wouldn't I order 4? So here's why I ask. And I haven't gotten confirmed because, I do have, I almost called her the roommate, the old lady, however, the significant other, my spouse, whatever you want to, whatever. Because I went online today to try, and I entered in my address. And they said, we already got an order for you at that house. So we're not fulfilling your order. I don't think either of us did. So that's been my issue. Somebody somewhere, once upon a time in the 3 days, just by chance used my address. Does that mean I'm going to get them shipped to my address? Because then that's all is well. All's good then if we get them. But if not, there's no way to remedy this online. So he goes, here's the most frequently asked questions. Well, this is so brand new. I have no idea. So I don't know is my whole thing. So the insurance company, there's the fallback. Remember, you can get, I think, was it up to 4 paid for through insurance as well? So that's why we had Blue Cross on. That's why we had Sanford on earlier this week to tell you how to do that. So I might be finding myself in that situation. But I was curious if anyone else ran into that. When you went and added your address, they're like, we already got an order filled out for you, so tough luck. Tyler, 0 visibility between Jamestown and Valley City. Around marker 275 eastbound, a semi-jackknife in the left lane. So on the eastbound, near mile marker 275, a semi-jackknife is in the left lane. So that'd be the passing lane there. So 0 visibility between Jamestown and Valley City. And what I'm gathering is it's almost as though some of the wind has changed directions. And I gathered that when Abby Miller called in, because it seemed as though it was kind of blowing out of the south most of the day. And if it's blowing her all the way in that final stretch, Highway 13, into Wapton, that means it's out of the west a little bit more now. Tyler, south of Wapton, I-29, blowing snow, 28 degrees. Roads are getting slick out there. So it's one of those, here we go again, commute homes. We'll continue to take your phone calls. I'm getting that actually on the break right now from Eric Johnson. In fact, I'm going to take a break. We'll get that final weather update from Too Tall Tom. Actually, I'm being told to hold on so I can get this phone call on air. This is how a tap dance around as Eric puts in the name on the Comrex here. Oh, okay. It's about the COVID. Thanks, Donnie. You have called in, and I tap danced around long enough to get you on air. Donnie, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. So we got into if you live in an apartment or a fourplex, and your name and your address comes up, you might be unit 1, 2, 3, or 4. But if your address goes in there, the first one in gets the COVID back.
Boy, I hadn't even considered that, Donnie. That's not the situation I'm in, but I could understand how that would be an issue.
Yeah. Fourplex would be easier, but if you got A, B, or C, but if you're first one in there with the address, that's the one that gets the pack, and
boy,
next you got to fight your way.
Yeah, it'd be waiting at that front door for them to get delivered. Donnie, thanks for calling, man. You have a good weekend. All right. I hadn't even considered that. I wonder if others have run into that issue. I own my house, so I haven't run into. I don't have no idea how my address has already been pumped into the system. It's the man. Tyler, 2 cars in the ditch on 29 South. Can you be a little bit more specific? 2 cars in the ditch on I-29 South. There's a lot of areas south, so if you could safely do so and get a little bit more approximate location for that so people can be mindful, I'd appreciate that. Okay, Too Tall Tom Schmansky going to get you that final weather update. We'll wrap up Afternoons Live for the week next.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall, and all the nurses were